Rest doesn't have to be boring, and you don't have to be still to rest. We can find rest in movement. I'm Sarah Ezrin. I'm so honored to be here with you. We're going to start standing. So wherever you may be, you could be on a yoga mat, you could be in the middle of Starbucks, you could be in your living room. Come to stand with your feet hips wide and just notice how the body naturally is calibrating itself into balance. Right? Even if you were to attempt to stand like a statue, there's still going to be tiny movements. So I actually want you to give into those movements, to feel the feet on the floor, the bones in the center of the feet spreading. You may need to be near a wall for balance. You may feel comfortable to close the eyes. Just noticing the innate movement that is being in a human body, even when we're trying to create shape. From here, we're going to circle the arms up towards the sky. Maybe look up, exhale, bowing forward, up and over the legs. I like to have a little bend in my knees as I fold. Once down, release the head down. Wiggle the feet slightly wider. Keep the knees bent. And then just crawl your torso over to the right. And crawl your torso over to the left. So I want you to think of your torso like a little pendulum. And it may feel kind of awkward at first. Or maybe you're just intuitively letting the torso sway side to side. No right or wrong. Come right back down to center. Let everything hang and sway. And then roll to stand slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Keep your feet this wide. Let's make it a flow. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, we bow over bent legs, drop the head, swaying again to one side and the next. And you can start to get a little momentum going too, if you want to play with it, or you're staying on your fingers, or we're just crawling towards thighs, whatever you need. Meet in the middle, roll to stand slowly. Keep that tiny bend in the knees. Again, inhale, arms up. One more time, final one. Exhale, bowing, and then swaying. The sways can get even bigger now, or they can stay even more controlled. Whatever your body is feeling, going from one leg to the next until you land in the center. And then we'll roll to standing. This time go really slow on the roll, stacking every bone in the body. So the vertebrae, those are all the bones of the spine, stacking one at a time, which means that your head is the last thing to arise. And then I'm going to turn sideways here. You're welcome to stay forward. It depends on the space where you are. If you have two blocks, that's helpful. Otherwise, you can use water bottles. Reach the arms up. Inhale. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, look forward. We're going to make our way into a runner's lunge position, stepping the left foot back and then lowering the left knee to the floor. Now, here's where the blocks can come in handy. You can place them directly under the shoulders for a little bit more stability. You can bring both hands up to the top thigh of the front leg. You can stay low without. It's entirely up to you. But we're just going to play with rocking a little bit forward. Let the knee go ahead of the ankle. It's just a moment. And then rocking the hips slightly back and forward and back. And we're going to do it one more time like this, forward and back motion. This is lengthening the hip flexors on the back leg. That's one of those muscles that gets a little bit overly engaged when we are in a stress response. But now come back to center, kickstand your left foot behind you, and then sink towards the back knee. So the front leg is in this half squat position. We may be entirely upright here. We may be sort of on a diagonal pivoting. You may be all the way down on the back toe. Circle around, tuck the back toes under, step towards the top of the mat. Inhale, lengthen your chest forward. So your hands can be on the blocks like me. You can have them on the shins. Get creative. Exhale, fold. We'll do the second side. Stepping now your right foot back and then lowering the knee to the floor. It's wonderful when we do these big transitions, like stepping back, lowering, to find the stillness within the movement. And then you can have your hands anywhere that feels good for you. You know, we're going to be rocking in a moment. What makes the most sense? They can even be on the back of a chair. And then just go ahead and let the hips be really heavy. So it's the back leg, right? That back hip that we're opening when we do that. And now pull the pelvis back a little bit, chest forward. And again, that was my knee cracking. Make sure the breath is steady. One more. And now you'll see it from the back side, this half squat position. So make sure the front knee's over the ankle. Kickstand your back shin. Turn your torso open, and you can be upright or you can sink onto your back heel with the hands in prayer position. Just a pause there, just a beat before coming back around, curling the back toes under and returning to the top of your mat. Inhale, reach the chest forward. Exhale, fold fully. We're going to make our way down onto the floor, so maybe onto fingertips or continuing to use those blocks, stepping back into a modified down dog or a full down dog, and then meeting on hands and knees. Line up your wrists under your shoulders, moving towards cat-cow now. On an inhale, arch the back, lift the chest up, and exhale and round. And we're just going to do this back and forth a few times. And I want you to see if you can find that thread of stillness. Inhale, lift the chest, and round. So even though we are moving, what is this steady thread holding it together? Maybe it's the attention to the breath. And then one more like that. And go ahead and sink back onto the heels. If you want to stretch out the feet, we all need that, right? We're not meant to be living in shoes as often as we do. You can curl the toes under and sit onto your heels. That may be a little bit intense. Notice the desire to want to escape. If it's too intense, you flip back to the tops of the feet and sit. But if you are stretching the feet and it is tolerable, can you start to sit into the discomfort of it, but in a way where you are spacious, breathing, and really listening with compassion, right? We don't want to be in pain, but we are stretching the feet, which I know can be intense. Stillness in the discomfort. And then we'll release that, come back to the tops of the feet, sit onto your heels. I'm just going to face you so you see me, you stay whatever direction you are already in. Take the right hand to the outside of the left thigh and just very gently twist. And then take the left hand to the outside of the right thigh and very gently twist. And then twist to one side again, so you can make it a little flow. Exhaling on the twist will help to turn the spine a little more. And now to the other side as well, just working with the movement of the diaphragm to get a little bit more oblique action. And then come right back to center. Come forward, curl the toes under. Can you return into a forward bend position? Drop the head, let everything hang. Roll slowly to standing, one vertebrae at a time. Remember, the head is the last thing. There's a moment where the weight of the head releases the upper muscles of the back, the trapezius, all those muscles that tend to carry our stress. And then when you arrive at the top, pause, check in, and maybe just go right back to the beginning and do this whole loop again. Or maybe you stand here in pure stillness for a few moments longer. Rest does not look the same on all of us. It's finding where you can feel the most space inside of you. Thank you.